Please silence all electronic devices and find seats now.
Break down and buy new phones. So we had to get the phones. The other ones were just the charging line. Well, they didn't have any charge.
I never used it. My niece
They
paid
mess around with
$27.
it, turn it around, and all kinds of stuff. And, no, I don't
Crazy.
He's going through that with his now. He's like, I think I'm going to need a new phone. I'm like, yeah, you probably are.
Oh, I'll just put that in one of them free listings and what have you. So you just leave people wait for you with my suitcase for $27. This is the first time I'm using it.
I'm pretty happy with this one. So far, anyway.
I don't know if I could give up my habit.
Oh, that coffee sucks.
You made it, right? Was that over there? Oh, it's over there. Oh, coffee's over there. I don't drink coffee. No, I don't drink coffee. Did I?
I do.
I'd never go to sleep.
Sleep?
What's that?
You won't do it? I try to do it every day. I try. I don't always succeed, but I try.
Where'd she go? I don't even see her. We can just cross Marcy's name off that list.
I know where you live. He's fine.
What's that? There you go.
My good friend, that's right.
Where is it? All the way in the back? You did that on purpose.
Nothing. I got Tic Tacs.
Where, oh, over here.
I have to be careful because it's just starts anyway. Then shows
I want to get to the thing Chad had done.
Never mind. Sit there and push up on the phone. Oh gosh, I didn't even see that.
That would be helpful if I didn't hide my pen.
Let's use that goo.
I don't like the goo.
Yeah, but that back then, that's all there was.
What time we got?
Let's get going now.
Five, four, three, two.
And I have the other pages for that bunch of that. I'll show you, and then it comes.
No worries. Save it for you.
On behalf of the Rainbow Lakes Estates Advisory Board, welcome to the January 16th, 2025 Advisory Board meeting. As a courtesy to others, please silence your cell phones and other electronic devices. If you need to take a call, please step outside. Talking or outbursts from the audience during this meeting will not be permitted. Please take seats if they are available. Board members and guests, if you wish to specifically call upon and speak to an individual in the audience during the meeting, please address the chair first. You do not need to address the chair to speak to other board members or to anyone from the public who is addressing the board during the agenda or public comment portions of the meeting. This board has not allowed in the past, nor will allow in the future, personal attacks or insults against Rainbow Lakes Estate staff, advisory board members, or community volunteers. Please keep your comments appropriate. Okay, I'll start with the invocation. Holy One, known by many names and beyond all names, thank you for every seat that has been filled here today, for each mind and heart that fills the presence of this room. We thank you. Only you truly know what we are setting out to accomplish today. We have an idea, a vision, hints, and daily instructions. We have talents, abilities, and time to work. However, only you can see in perfect detail the end of every beginning. Every project, every season, every life. Nothing is ever in vain, for even mistakes and missteps are used for good. Your righteousness transcends all our efforts and understanding. Forgive us for our pride, the pride that puffs us up, and the pride that threatens to unqualify us. Strengthen our confidence in who you have made us to be. Set us free from comparison in order to work together efficiently. Bless this meeting today, all those present, all the residents, volunteers, and employees of Rainbow Lakes Estates, as well as the lives of those we encounter afterwards. Ready us to make every moment count. Amen. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
It's on your side.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know, I was looking at it.
Tiffany, can I have the roll call, please?
Kathy Bryant.
Here.
Paula Gottlieb. Here. Michael Hasenfeld.
Here.
Alan McKay.
Here.
Omar Rodriguez.
Here.
Dallas Sutherland.
Here.
Dan Wilcherson.
Here.
Okay, our next thing is voting for the chairman and vice chairman for 2025.
George.
Thank you.
3, 4,
She says.
5,
Keep going.
One more.
Any more?
7.
There you go.
Thank you.
Sometimes you just gotta do it.
Who was the last one? Who was the last one?
But it's the same.
For vice chairman, Kathy Bryant. Alan McKay. Dan Wilcherson. Alan McKay. Alan McKay. Alan McKay. Dan Wilcherson.
You know.
Dallas Sutherland for chairman, and vice chairman, Alan McKay.
Okay, thank you, Tiffany. Okay, moving on. Representative board assignments as follows. Public safety, Alan McKay, George, leave you in that. Buildings and grounds, Kathy Bryant, leave you there. Code enforcement representative would be Michael Hassenfeld. Levy County representative, not that I get a choice in that one. Dan Wilshusen. Recreation representative, Paula Golick. And road representative, Omar Rodriguez. Okay. Now, I'm a little confused here on this one thing. Why do we have announcements next? Is that a typo in the?
It's always been like that.
What's that?
It's down your pin. It's always been like that.
All right, so that is an error. Okay, next we have public comment on agenda items. We have nobody signed up for that. Okay, approval of minutes. 2A, I need approval for the minutes for November 21st, 2024. Any questions concerning these minutes? If not, I need a motion and a second needed to vote and approve.
Chair, I will make that motion to approve.
And I would second.
Motion made by Dan and seconded by Alan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, moving on to our advisory committee reports. Vice Chairman, Public Safety Representative, Alan George McKeff.
Mr. Chairman, fire and rescue incidents for December. There's medical, were 46, fire 11, and a total of 57. For Station 14 only, 3 medical and 1 fire for a total of 4. Regarding the traffic signal installation, as many of you may have noticed, there have been survey work going on out at 41 on the boulevard. I can report this is for the signal, and per the surveyor in charge, they are working fast on the signal. There was nothing more to report from the land office of FDOT. I want to note that there has been more patrolling in RLE, and Lieutenant Vorwinkle, please relay my thanks for the extra effort. It's very much appreciated. I like seeing those lights. That's a good thing. Thank you very
I don't know
much.
if you guys have seen the speed trailer. We got that back, so we've been setting that up out here on some of the roads that we get the most complaints on.
Yeah, and I guess people don't realize that those also read license plates. So they don't realize that. Maybe they ought to slow down a little bit. Thank you.
And not pass on red.
You done?
That's it.
All right. George, I just did want to say thank you for the diligent work of
Yes.
working with that
Thank you.
signal at the entrance.
You're welcome.
And it's long overdue. The signal, not the diligent work. Okay, next we have Buildings and Grounds Representative Kathy Bryant.
I don't have anything new other than what they're going to discuss tonight.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy. Michael, I assume you have nothing at this point. Okay, Levy County Representative Dan Wilshusen. How long have I known you and I still
I know, I'm like, what
mispronounce your name?
are you about to call me? All right, so on code enforcement issues out in Levy County, we don't have anything new. We still have one person out there living on the property in an RV. However, after doing some due diligence and working with the code enforcement people on Levy County, he has been issued a permit for building, so that now makes him in compliance because they can camp on the site that they are currently building on. There is a caveat and stipulation, though, that Levy County now has on the books where they have to see some sort of progress or that permit is no longer valid and can be revoked. So now if we're kind of sitting back because those of us that live there are not seeing a lot of progress, but it's not our call to make. This is absolutely a code enforcement call. On roads maintenance, 136, I brought this up in the past, this is the third time. I need maintenance to get out there and do something with the sand at that intersection. It's at 136th Terrace and Southeast 105th. And it is now getting to the point, we've had at least one pickup truck slide off into the ditch, so we probably need to abate the sand. As for public safety, there are no current issues or concerns out there. So, and that's it for me.
And what was that second intersection of 136 and what?
Southeast 136th Terrace and Southeast 105th.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Recreation Representative Paula Golick.
Tater Tot Tuesday will be in the community center every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to noon. It is available to the public for free. RLE Plant Swap will be in the community center from 6 to 7 p.m. on January 21st. They will be held on the third Tuesday of each month. The next two will be February 18th and March 18th. They are free and open to the public. Pickleball is every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. at Seacliff Park. It is also free and open to the public. The Meet and Eat Spaghetti Community Dinner will be January 24th at 6 o'clock in the community center. RLE residents only, please bring Florida driver's license or ID with a Rainbow Lakes Estates address to prove RLE residency. You can show it to the person at the door the night of the dinner. The RLE Youth Center is open Wednesday and Friday from 4 to 8. It costs $5 a year for residents and $10 a year for non-residents. Volunteers are needed to help out with recreation activities. A level 1 background check is necessary. Rainbow Lakes Estates will pay for the application. Excuse me. Fitness center tours and regulations are available every Wednesday. Call 352-489-4280 to book an appointment. For RLE residents only, an annual fee is charged. Kayaks are available for rent Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The rent is $25 for the first hour and $5 for every additional hour. They are available to the public. Upcoming events and club calendar flyers are on the table at the entrance of this building. If you have any questions about these activities, please call 352-489-4280. Also, I have been on the board for 4 years. The end of my term is March of this year, but I started in March, and March is when the budget is decided. So I have decided to resign this month in order to give someone a chance to take my place and be up and running for that March budget meeting. So I have enjoyed being on the board. I'm sure I'll be back, so it's not goodbye, it's I'll see you later, and I'll probably be announcing or talking to the board every once in a while. I'm gonna keep my eyes on you, so. Stay on your toes. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Roads Representative Omar Rodriguez. Am I going to assume you have something or do
No,
not?
I have a lot. Yes, sir. Stand down, Dan. All right, so as you guys know, the roads position has been vacant for quite a while. We haven't had any reports of any issue whatsoever. Some of the residents are concerned about ongoing repairs. In other words, what's going on for the last 4, 5, 6 months. I'm happy to report that repairs and improvements have been ongoing and continue going in RLE very efficiently. They're doing their job, folks. It's on the background, but they're doing it. So I had anticipating the possibility of my position. I had a productive meeting with Peter Hodges, our project coordinator for the county, who we work with. So I have quite a few interesting things to report. For the 2024, for this upcoming year, we have some roads that have been approved to be improved. When I say improve, the term improve means they're going to redo the road. That means resurfacing. They're going to expand from 18 feet to 20 feet. That's Florida code, I believe. So for those of you who live in these particular roads, you'll be happy to know for the 24-25 budget period coming up, we have 4/10 of a mile approved for Southwest Shasta Court, 4/10 of a mile approved for Southwest Biola Court, 4/10 of a mile approved for Southwest Wisteria Court, half a mile on Southwest Tamarix Court. That's in Marion County. In Levy County, we have 4/10 approximately approved for Southeast 100th Place, Southeast 110th Place, west of 125th Court, 0.25, quarter, I guess. Southeast 134th Court, north of Southeast 105th Lane, 0.1, not that much. They're talking about regrading the soils section over there. Of Southeast 136. Southeast 124th Court, about 0.2 of a mile. Southeast 123rd Avenue from 124th Court to Southeast 114th Place, 0.2 of a mile. These are all upcoming improvements that are budgeted for this upcoming year. I also have figures for the following year, but we'll talk about those at another meeting. I don't want to take too much time of the agenda today. Also, we have some really cool things going on at the county level. They have a new software system that uses something called PCI. PCI stands for Pavement Condition Index rating. Loosely said, the system uses a numerical scale from 0 to 100 to assess the condition of the road surface, where 100 represents a brand new road and 0 indicates a mess, a complete mess. It's a software-based method, basically give a road rating based on the visual inspection of the pavement distresses like cracks, potholes, and rutting. What does that mean to us? We're moving into the technology era in RLE for the future in Marion County. So what that means is, as we make reports for road condition, now the system is going to take all this information, catalog which roads need more repairs, more urgent repairs and improvements as opposed to others. Now, having said that, you also got to keep in mind the roads that we have budgeted for this coming year, next year, and all that. That is all assuming something else doesn't show up. We have storms, we have wash, we have all kinds of stuff going on. So this is a very fluid plan, and you have to stay flexible with us because we intend to follow that routine and that record. But if something else shows up, a resident calls from Shorewood or something like that says, we have a sinkhole open up. Obviously, that's going to have priority. Not that we will have a sinkhole, but that's going to have priority, and then funds are going to have to be shifted. Speaking about funds, before I go into that detail. So we have a total of 2.8 miles of road improvement for Marion and Levy County for 24-25, 3.6 miles of road improvement budgeted for 25-26. Again, I'll pass those out on another meeting. So essentially for 2024, we have a total of $907,330 on our amended revenue for 2024, equals about $82 per parcel. All of us, we pay taxes here. If you haven't seen that little tax bill, that's kind of what it is for roads. $82 per parcel, which is not that much. Out of the 977,000, give or take, 297,000 are for various salaries, and 260,000 are for operating supplies. For those of us who know a little bit about asphalt, that doesn't really leave a whole lot of budget to repair and improve roads, which I want to say that publicly for folks to have a little patience when it comes to these things. We're working on it, and they're going to get done, but it's going to take time, okay? Also, you need to be aware of the folks working in Marion County, for example, Peter Hodges and so forth, they represent other MSDs as well. We're not alone, okay? So the work is always being rated and prioritized depending on what community, what road, what, when, and where. So keep that in mind. Now, having said that, Marion County is going to continue to review and periodically inspect all the roads in our area in Levy County due to the increased home construction through RLE. We all know that. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I've also discussed with Pam and Peter, we have a procedure in place. There's been a lot of complaints about contractors tearing up the road. We have some really cool things in place that we can put in mind for these folks to stay honest with us, including and up to the possibility of canceling the building permit. So we have some things coming up in 2025 that will be pretty good, okay? Reporting procedure. Here's the approved reporting procedure going forward for us and all the residents in our county as far as reporting pothole, crack, something left and right. Okay, the way we want you to do this is the first resource is going to be an email or a phone call to Rainbow Lakes, either emailing rainbow.lakes@marionflorida.org or call 352-489-4280. The office will get this complaint, take the necessary details, and scale it, escalate from there to work order and whatever else has to happen, okay? In some instances, depending on, I've asked Pam to keep me also copied on these reports as they come in, so I can keep track of it and document them and all that. The object here is to create an efficient workflow so we can report, document, and track the road issues until the repairs are completed. But I mean, I don't have a problem with anybody contacting me, but the preferred method, if you will, is contacting Pam, the office, through that email I just said, or make a phone call. Okay, that's what we like residents to do from now going forward. Anybody got any questions? I know that's a lot. That's it for me.
That's it?
Yeah.
I think you're gonna notice, and Michael, that, you know, no insult to the county, the people don't tend to trust government. And we sit between them and government. And you're all gonna find out that they'll contact you, email, Facebook. I've had them knock at my door at 5 a.m. in the morning. So be prepared for all that, and I think the other board members can attest to that. No insult to you guys. So.
Well, we're forward-facing.
What's that?
We are the forward-facing. We are,
Right.
the boots on the ground, basically. So,
They look at it as we're in the same boat.
yeah.
All right, thank you, Omar, for your brief report.
Would that be the last report, Mr. Chairman?
What's that?
Would that be the last report?
Yeah, I have Pam. Okay, this is my favorite part of the reports. 3B, staff report, Pamela Spacuzza, RLE Community Center Supervisor.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. So for our projects that we've completed, today we ordered tables and chairs for the community center. We ordered 5-foot round tables, 34 of those, and 330 stackable banquet chairs, and 2 chair dollies to move them. So once we get the chairs and tables, we may be able to work with getting some tables or other places. And I think Katie's going to speak about that. With the budgeted amount of $47,000 for the tables and chairs, what it cost us with the government pricing was $23,818.45, with a remaining balance of $24,117.55. I would like to purchase louver doors to replace the louver doors that we have these here and that one over there. That total would be approximately $6,917. I have pictures in my file after the meeting if you guys want to look at them. I don't know if I need approval for that, do I? It's operations. So. And the finance report will be provided to the advisory board quarterly, so December, March, June, and September. I'll do a brief what we've spent and the revenue. For December, general government or Fund 1300 expenditures, $114,031.36. That includes the $13,684 for the district office roof. The revenue for general government was $72,917.33. Recreation, Fund 1301, expenditures for December, $41,053.53. The revenue for December, $18,469.99. Dan, do you need me to repeat that?
Yeah, thank you. Could you please give me the expense on that account again?
Recreation expenditures, $41,053.53.
Thank you.
You're welcome. For our upcoming special events, January 24th is, like Paul reported, the community dinner. We're going to need extra volunteers for that because we have to clean the building up when we're done, because we have a rental the following day that Tiffany and Robert will be working. So we need extra volunteers for the spaghetti dinner to help clean up before we leave. Please. Thank you. February 8th is the community yard sale that will be held here in the community center complex. The application deadline is February 3rd. We will have to have 8 participants in order to hold the event. So far, we have 2 applications. So So we need 8 in order to hold the event. April 5th is the car show at the Seacliff Community Park. The deadline for those applications is March 21st.
And where are we on that?
We don't have any.
Thank you. And that was March 31st? Application deadline?
Application deadline is March 21st.
21st, thank you.
You're welcome. April 11th is the annual Glow Hunt at the Community Center from 6 to 9. We're going to be hiding 2,500 eggs, so we need volunteers to help stuff the eggs starting at 3 o'clock. Remember, it's a glow hunt, so the eggs have to glow. So we bought these little glowy balls that go in the eggs. So at 3 o'clock, we need volunteers to help us stuff 2,500 eggs.
We're not charging eggs this year?
No, we're not, that didn't work. It didn't work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. It was a great idea, but it didn't work. So for miscellaneous items, the dock repairs, 2 of the spindles were kicked out when they couldn't get them out, so the fence worked on the outside, but when they couldn't get them out, they burnt or broke 11 of the caps.
Oh my God.
So the fencing did work. So, but I just wanted to report that they did do that. So the ones that were not, because they couldn't get them off either, so that's why they burnt them. Because we used cement, I think. So they, not all 11 are missing. Just some out of the 11 are missing, and some they have like the corner of the cap is burnt. It looks like they took a cigarette lighter or something to it. So we will replace the ones that are completely gone, but the ones that are burnt, we're gonna leave them. And they only got 2 of the spindles out, which you guys know from before they were kicking the whole sections out.
Mhm.
So the fencing with the wire ties, that did work. Because it could have been much worse. The chlorinator has been replaced here at the community center well. There's been a Dutch door ordered for the youth center. The darts, the skeet ball, the basketball toss have all been installed. So once we get the Dutch door installed, they're going to get rid of the countertop that's in front of the, I guess it's
The cabinets.
Yes.
Got it.
And all of the food, you know, is going to be moved into the room so we can lock that up. And it'll allow for more space to get rid of that countertop so we can put the 2 tables back in. The 2025 Fall Craft Festival is November the 8th. The deadline for those applications is October the 20th. So far we've had 24 total registrations requested, 15 for vendors and 9 for food trucks. We've received 2 vendor registrations back that were paid already and 1 food truck that's not been paid. So we've already started advertising that since we had, the 1,500 people last year. So this year we're hoping that it's going to be even bigger. So we need volunteers. Please, if you guys can get your friends, or I know some of you are actually in the, you're a vendor. So if you could kind of send them my way, I would really appreciate it. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, Pam, is there a camera on the dock?
Yes.
Does it work?
Yes.
Do we have good video of these little miscreants?
The problem is that when you zoom in, it pixelates, you can't see who it is.
Hmm.
How close to the dock is that?
It's on the clubhouse.
Mhm.
Is there any way to get a camera up on the light pole that's right there above the dock?
They're not Wi-Fi cameras, so they have to be hardwired. I don't know, that would be an IT question.
Mr. Chairman, I have a high-tech Wi-Fi camera that we can bring as a test bed. We can hook up in whatever hole you want out there. As long as we can get signal from here to over there, as long as the camera can pick it up, we can use it. If we have that kind of signal.
We don't have the Wi-Fi right now. If you guys remember at the fall festival, the Wi-Fi wasn't working. IT is working to, we don't have, the Wi-Fi is in the building, it's not in the parking lot. So, and they won't do cameras on Wi-Fi. IT will not do it, it's a security thing. This will be an IT project. Now, we can look into getting a different camera that's more high powered and replace the camera, but I don't know the cost.
I think that might be money well spent, though, don't you?
I can make some recommendations of higher resolution cameras to you guys.
Is it just is it the intent to put Wi-Fi in the parking lot?
Yes,
Didn't we have issues with that before?
we didn't have Wi-Fi. The first fall festival, there was no internet here at all. So then I asked for the Wi-Fi, the point-to-point. They didn't realize that I meant outside too, so they only put it in the building. So I did meet with IT and they're going to work on the outside Wi-Fi and also getting the Wi-Fi boosters if they're available. So anything that has to do with the camera systems, that is an IT issue and they're the ones that handle it.
All right.
So we don't have, they do what they are going to do.
All right. Any other questions?
Yes.
Of course.
So Pam, I want to back up a little bit to the beginning of your report. You've ordered the chairs and the tables for this community center. And I understand that we still have a little bit of money left in the budget. Can I please get you to take a look at getting some quotes for the chairs that are necessary for the gazebo?
The white chairs?
I don't care what color they
You
are,
mean the
dear.
wedding stuff?
Correct.
Okay.
Because those we know have to be a certain type of chair so they don't sink into the sand or soil. And I know that we have the money left over, so
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome, sir. My pleasure.
That it? Thank you, Pam.
My pleasure.
That's the end of our reports.
Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I'd like to go over some advisory board appointment procedures with the rest of my board members and the director, MSD director, if possible.
Can you repeat that?
With your permission, I would like to go over some advisory board procedures, appointment procedures with the rest of the board members and the director, MSD director.
Right. Let me introduce guests today. We seem to have quite a collection, and then we'll get to that. I'm missing a few names here on the list, so I'll start with, we have Lieutenant Bullwinkle from Marion County Sheriff's Office over here, Chad Wicker, the Marion County Municipal Services Director, Katie Burton, the Marion County Municipal Services Recreation Manager, Dana Oleski, the Marion County Chief Assistant County Attorney, Tracy Straub, the Assistant County Administrator. Who did I miss? And the new Katie, I can't remember.
So,
Zach, what is your last name?
Zachary Jacobson, Operations Manager for Municipal Services.
All right, thank you. All right, so go ahead. Now we know all these people.
All right. I have the privilege tonight to sit next to Mr. Michael Hassenfeld. I don't know him personally. My only previous involvement with him was back in March 21st during the advisory board meeting. This commentary has to do with being him appointed as an advisory board member to this board. Not sure if a lot of the residents know that Mr. Hassenfeld, on the 21st, he signed up to speak about creating a garden club. Instead, he went into some kind of rant about other unrelated issues. I'm not going to go into details. Back then, the chairman warned him twice, asked him to focus on what he was speaking about, and due to the disruptive behavior, he ended up being escorted out of the meeting. He enjoys the privilege of being the only person ever escorted out of an RLE meeting. After the meeting, he was heard allegedly by other resident members making threats of bodily harm to members of his board. I haven't seen Mr. Haskell here in any meeting present since then. I've been here pretty much all meetings. Mr. Director, you stated the Marion County Board of Commissioners were fully aware of Mr. Hassenfeld's actions before the appointment, and that they also conducted limited background search before proceeding with his appointment. That's what I understand from you. Is there anything you want to say about that so far? No? Okay. I conducted a background search myself and found several negative issues that I'm not gonna bring to this board.
By all means, go ahead.
No. So.
We should.
Mr. Chair, may I?
Can you, speak up into the microphone?
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little grace that you are a new board member, and I think the chair will, agree with me, that at the beginning of this meeting, we asked the public that they were not going to personally attack any one of the board members. That goes for every single one of the board members that are up here. This is not about personal attacks against the people that are sitting next to you. The appointment of members of this board has absolutely nothing to do with each and every one of you. It is a decision that is made by the Marion County Board of County Commissioners, and if you have any issues with that, you need to contact the Marion County Board of Commissioners and talk with the chair and the individual commissioners. But it is not appropriate for you to sit here and personally attack the gentleman that is sitting next to you.
Thank you for the comment, council. This is not my personal issue. Several board members may have gone on record talking about this before and during this appointment and afterwards.
Well,
I
I hope that they didn't do that outside of a meeting in a sunshine violation. So I'm gonna ask the chair to please not allow Mr. Rodriguez to continue to personally attack another board member.
Omar, you let it drop.
Council, I want you to understand something. This is very personal to me due to safety issues for board members and residents as well.
And there is law enforcement here, and if you have an issue about your concern, then perhaps maybe you should be on the board.
Fair enough. I will bring this up whether I'm a board member or a resident, but I will bring it up.
And this is not the platform for you to do that.
Interestingly enough, Director Chad advised me that this sort of event should be discussed in the public meeting. That was my instruction before coming here today, and that's why I brought it up. But I follow your counsel. We'll leave the rest for now.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Okay, I think we'll move on here. The one thing I am going to say is, I understand somebody's passion when they're sitting out there and they get a little angry or what have you. Nobody sat out there more than me telling off a few board members in my day before I was on the board. I think one of the things that I learned here was it's different here than sitting there. So I just think we should just probably all move on with, this whole thing.
Yeah.
All right. So, Mr. Municipal Service Director, do you have anything to say that you want to discuss this property condition assessment?
Are we going down to 6A? Is that what you're?
What's that?
Yes, absolutely.
Further on, we're going to discuss clubhouse renovations, but I think that this is a separate issue than that.
Okay, absolutely. So the building, you're talking about having the 3 buildings assessed by the outside agency. We do have I'm sorry, go ahead. That was going to be discussed as part of the 5-year plan down here. Do you want to hold off and do that altogether?
You want to do this with the 5-year plan?
If that's okay with you, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I was going to bring up in this section was I was going to introduce Mr. Zachary Jacobson to the board as a new operations manager, but that had previously taken place. So.
Well. Okay. Any of our other guests have anything to say on this end? Not a word. Yeah.
Good evening, Commissioners, Board.
I can't hear. Is that on?
Is it on?
And this is a new system.
Good evening. Good evening.
Board, thank you all for letting me join you tonight. It is a privilege to be with you, and it's a privilege to have everybody serving. And I did want to welcome your 2 new board members. Being involved in local government is important. It is the closest you'll ever get to your decision making, and you all have the luxury of having not only this advisory board, but your board of county commissioners. So I think that's a very special time to be able to spend with you all on Thursday evening. And I'm sorry I'm not here through all of your meetings. There are other different meetings that go on after hours at county business, but I do appreciate the time coming to you. And when Chad gets to the 5-year plan, there's been a lot of work that the team has been working and building to bring you back some good material for you to continue to make your decision making on. So I look forward to Chad having that conversation with you on that.
Thank you. Anyone else? Can't drag him into anything. Okay, Lieutenant Baldwin.
No trend in crime out here. I don't know if you guys have anything for me, any questions, concerns,
Nothing going on.
comments?
I don't know, well, I'm disappointed not to hear a report. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
No, that's a very good thing. Okay.
Sometimes no news is good news.
What's that?
Sometimes no news is good news.
Yes.
All right, moving on.
Mr. Chairman, I just thought about something. I've been thinking about what council said regarding the issue I brought up earlier and all that. I've been working on this for weeks now without really anything significant coming down from the commissioners or anybody up there. I'm going to follow the advice of the council. Apparently, this is not a matter of big concern for the county commissioners and everybody coming down as far as liability or safety. Based on that current set of events and state of what's going on here from the county coming down, I'm going to go ahead and tender my official resignation here in the public meeting. And I'm going to sit over there and then handle any additional business regarding to this issue as a resident of RLE from now on. Thank you.
All right. Sorry to hear that. Old business, 6A, clubhouse renovations and relief center designation. A progress report on the renovations, update on progress to designate the RLE clubhouse as a hurricane relief center to be opened after a hurricane or natural disaster is ordered under a state of emergency declared by Marion County and or the state of Florida. I just once again want to clarify that this structure would not qualify as a shelter. It would only be opened as a relief center after a storm or natural disaster. Okay, any update on the renovations and
Yes, Zachary Diggs, operations manager.
is your microphone on?
Yeah, maybe I should go a little closer. Is that better?
Yes.
So I can report that we do have 100% plans for the renovation. Our goal is to do it in 2 phases. We're going to get it out to bid, starting with the abatement, and then get a remodel crew in there to do the rest of the work. I believe Pete just got the plans in the last week, so we'll be getting that out in say the next 30 days or so. And, get to work on it.
Okay.
As far as the relief center goes, I can't speak to that. I'm not sure where we are. Looking into that.
I can, yeah. I believe that was placed on hold until after the renovation was done, so then we can further discuss that. Is that correct, Chairman?
What's that?
I believe that the discussion for the relief center was placed on hold until after the clubhouse renovation was complete. Is that correct?
I was unaware of that actually.
Okay, I apologize. I thought that was
It's
what.
on hold.
Well, I mean, that's up to you as the chairman. I'm just saying for the relief center to get that set up, we would need to wait until the clubhouse is fully renovated and available.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought in the last meeting that was kind of tabled until after the renovation.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Could I ask when the renovation will start and about how long it will take?
As far as how long it will take, I'm not sure. We'll have to get with contractors. Got to go out to bid. I'd like to see it out to bid in the next 30 days. Generally, we give contractors a minimum of 30 days to bid on a project, anywhere from 30 to 90. I couldn't see us going more than 60 on this, and that's really just trying to get the best price we can for the work. The more bidders we have, But as far as how long the project's gonna take, I'm unsure. I can definitely look into it, and get back to you guys and see if we have a construction period in mind of what that timeline looks like.
Because I was under the impression that it had already gone out to bid. I didn't realize that it hadn't gone out at all.
No, I believe last time that you held a board meeting, we were still waiting for 100% plans from our designer, and I should have received those from last week, so now we're ready to go ahead and move forward and get the bids out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Jacobson, will a copy of those plans be submitted to this office for review as well?
I can certainly make sure there's a copy of it.
Would you, sir?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? All right, moving on. 6B, RLE 5-year plan workshop, an update on the 5-year plan.
Katie Burton, Community Manager. So we are working on the 5-year plan. We've condensed the things that we do want to focus on going forward year by year. The biggest thing we're waiting on right now is that building assessment. It was conducted last week. Pam submitted surveys of the work that has been done on each building up to this point, as far as when the roof was done and that kind of information for the company, and then they came out and surveyed them last week. So as soon as we have those numbers back from them, we'll have a way better idea of how much money we actually have in that budget to look at how many things. So we are working on it. It's a little hard while we're waiting for those numbers, but that's where we are right now. And I'm sorry, that is for the community center here, the youth center, and the creative arts center.
Thank you.
I saw it happening.
Okay, which building? Also, can I, I'm sorry, maybe this is out of line. I also, specifically to you on this item, I wanted to get an update on where we are with the welcome cards or greeting items that were supposed to be coming from, I don't know, public affairs. Is that correct?
Public relations, yes.
Public
So I have a
relations, I'm
postcard that
sorry.
we can send out, and I have a way to find new residents who have moved in. Where I'm at, and I was actually gonna bring that up with you when we go over the next item of rental fees. I don't really want to draw attention to it until we have a renovation plan and a rental fee that we are happy with.
Okay,
And at that point, then we can start with the marketing
awesome.
plan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That it? Okay, I guess we're moving on. 6C, facility rental fees and club membership fees. Discuss adjusting the rental rates and fees on our buildings and facilities, as well as the organization and club fees, so that we can renew interest in rentals and create much needed revenue. I appointed Mr. Will Schuson as liaison to the county concerning this issue, and will now hear his recommendations.
Okay, well, I currently have rough drafts because, as just discussed, there is a meeting that Pam, Katie, and I are supposed to attend. We've been waiting for your schedule to free up. I know that there was vacation and other projects that had kind of interfered with that. But off the top, in short, I'm proposing that we reduce our fees that we're currently charging. Like right now, we're at $75 per hour. I think that that fee needs to be dropped by at least $25. I think that we need to revisit the matrix on the deposits. I think that I still need to work with Pam and with Katie on this, but I think that I would like to look at a matrix of a partially refundable deposit. If the facility is left in the same condition that they received it in, that reduces our cost for maintenance and cleanup. So it kind of butts up against, I know we have maintenance fees that we have to pay, but based on what I had put together, if we just do the hourly drop in the fee, then we still have the $325. That is what comes out for, or $320. I'm sorry. Was it $320? No. It's the $100 fee for cleaning, and then there's the security fee of $325 on any rental. And that is, when I say security, it's not a security deposit. That is actually the fee that we have to pay to security for their presence. So, I had initially gone through and looked at eliminating some of these fees on the rentals, but I get backed up against the open liability and damage concern to our facilities. So cleaning, can't really do anything with that right now, and the security issue because of the alcohol consumption that is not permitted on county property. So it leaves us with increasing our damage deposits and dropping our hourly rate to bring it into more of a marketable situation, and even the deposit matrix needs to be reevaluated. Okay? As far as the clubs, I need to work more with Paula Golick to find out what's going on the individual clubs, but I see a big disconnect in our youth center. We have a lot going into that facility right now, and we have not had a price increase in the youth center since it opened.
Right.
So my druthers on that is that should automatically be increased from the $5 that it is now to $10 and $15 for outside residents. And those are my recommendations at this time. Again, this is still fluid. We still have another meeting to do because I need to find out what the ins and outs are for the county.
Do you think you'll be able to free up your schedule and get that?
It wasn't just my schedule. I was meeting with Dana, I met with Dana last week to go over some questions I had before we looked at this rental fee schedule. So now that that's been done, we will schedule that. We're aligned on a lot of our thinking when it comes to the rental fees, so I'm excited to get into it.
Okay, great.
And Dan, so you're going to have a written proposal to submit?
Yes,
next
absolutely.
board
Yeah,
meeting?
I'll have one of what we currently have on the books, and you will see the change. So you'll have current and proposed.
Right, and you know to submit that to the district office before they
Oh,
have
of
the
course.
agenda out?
That way it's with everybody.
It gets out in the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. So
No more
we're gonna add
handouts
on
at the
to-
table, okay?
What's that?
No more handouts at the table.
Then I'll have to find something new to stick you with.
Thanks, no thanks.
All right, thanks, Dan. So we'll move that to next month. All right, moving on, new business. And actually, Dana, maybe you can help with this issue. The boat launch permit fees. The board had voted to raise the boat launch permit fees and change the ordinance so it would have several penalty phases for violators. The recommended fees seem to be excessive based on information we obtained after this approval, thanks to Paula over here. We need to discuss new fees and penalties and investigate the legal procedures to have our recommendation accepted by the Marion County Board of County Commissioners and implement it. When we did this, the lieutenant that was here at the time, Mongaluso, had said that he would take this to the sheriff's department to have their legal write an ordinance. It since occurred to me, how would the sheriff's department enforces the law? They don't write them. That would fall under you.
Correct, for the boat grant fees, that would fall under the ordinance.
Your microphone.
Sorry. So the boat grant fees would fall within the ordinance and you would have to adopt a resolution. My recommendation is you fully vet it with this board. You settle on what you want those numbers to look like. The Marion County Board of County Commissioners process is, there is we call it the Mother May I, where we have to present a draft ordinance and request a public hearing date with the board, and then they schedule it for enough time for the legal advertisements. For that particular ordinance, it probably would only be a 10-day legal advertisement unless there's something unique to the Rainbow Lakes Estates MSD. But Katie and I did meet, so that's in the works. But I think probably having those numbers and having a solid, this is what this board is recommending, that will be what's presented to the Board of County Commissioners.
Yeah, because I think, Paula, didn't you point out that what, and Mr. Levitt was actually the push to raise the fees. Didn't you point out that what we recommended was actually higher than what the county charges in their fees? Do you recall?
Well, I actually called, I couldn't find anything about boat launch fees, but I did see park passes, which includes, it's one vehicle with up to 8 people and an attached vessel, which I'm assuming would be a boat. So you have to get a park pass in order to launch your boat in the parks. And for a resident, it was $50 plus administration fees and tax, which came out to $55.17 for residents. And then for non-residents, it was $90 plus fees and tax, which came out to $110.35. So those were the amounts that I thought, you know, I thought we should probably just go along with what Marion County does, not basically have our own numbers.
Right.
And then they charge $1 for each person above 8 people in the vehicle, but
Yeah, because I
we
think,
wouldn't have to do that.
if I'm reading this right, what was recommended was, Mr. Levitt suggested the new prices to be $50 annual residence permits, $100 non-resident permits, $35 non-resident monthly permits.
Well, for just
That
for one-
does seem to go from $1 to, that's a lot, that's
huge.
little bit of a
Yeah, that's huge.
so what do y'all want to do do you want to discuss this now? Michael, you have a thought on any of this?
All right. What exactly is the money intended to do, though? What is it? Is it for a purpose, or is it just to get into the kitty?
Mr. McKay, I would assume that the fees that we're charging are for the maintenance for the ramp and parking facilities, which are used by the vehicles and boat trailers, because all of that needs to be maintained.
Is that what it
But
was?
is it specifically allocated to that purpose? Is that?
What's the usage rate on the boat docks?
Yeah.
How often we use them?
Can you speak into that microphone?
Apologies, how often are we using the boat docks? How often are citizens using it?
I see traffic out there almost daily.
In question.
I do see traffic out there almost daily.
Yeah, but, I mean, if we're gonna talk about rates, we need to know the frequency in that so it can be adjusted, correct?
Yeah, exactly, and right now, I think that the way that it's currently set up is that once the fees are paid, you're issued a decal that goes on your trailer, so that if enforcement comes
How many
through.
permits have you sold in the last
Yeah, there
year
we
to
go.
2 year?
I would say maybe 20 for residents and 15 for non.
There's your numbers.
What brought this all about and why I brought this up
It's more than
back
that. Tiffany's
then?
saying it's more than that. What do you think, Tiff?
I say total residents and non-residents, I'd say over 100.
Okay.
I have a question.
What brought this up was, again, my favorite subject, social media. People going on social media and saying, you don't waste your money on $1, just go in there, and inviting their friends in there, and, you know,
Then mud and tearing up the grass.
which is the reason we did put up the fencing, and the plan is to have a gate with some kind of passcode that would change monthly or something, right?
They have stopped with the four-wheeling in the grass, so they've stopped tearing up the grass and stuff, so we have not locked the gate. Or we've just left it open, but the fence seemed to deter the mud and everything that was going on.
And I think, if I read the ordinance right, and you can correct me, Dana, if they're caught in violation, it's an immediate arrest,
Yes.
the way it's written now. Am I,
Oh,
not that anybody I think has ever been arrested for it, but
No.
I think that's a little extreme. I didn't pay $1, so I'm going to jail.
so there are some legalities about taking an ordinance and creating a misdemeanor from an ordinance. I'm dealing with this issue on another, code currently. So I think here would be my recommendation, not to create more work for staff, but I think rather than recreating the wheel, let's look at what our parks numbers are, look at how many parks it is, and kind of bring a proposal back at the next meeting for you to kind of see the numbers of where you were, how that compares to the current parks ramp. We do have ramp fees, and we do actually at the next board meeting, we are addressing some of our parks fees countywide.
Ah.
So once that's approved, that may be able to, you can use some of that to kind of build your, fees for here.
Dana, you're speaking my language. I like that.
'Cause we
Because I
keep-
think we need to be more in line with the county.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let me, you mentioned something too, and I hate to say it out of turn, but at the next Board of County Commissioners meeting on the 21st, there will be the fee resolution for some of the parks, the as well as some of the event facility rental fees.
Okay,
And then also an ordinance allowing, the board to adopt by resolution certain facilities that would allow alcohol. I
Yeah,
can
thank
tell
you.
you that Rainbow Lakes Estates is not on that because you have a separate ordinance that specifically says you cannot have alcohol, on Rainbow Lakes Estates property. But there will be some discussion, so I think some of those fees and some of those, even the event facilities and how they're coming to the different categories may
Correct.
be helpful for you as you enter into changing your fee resolutions.
that is fantastic. Thank you very much for that information.
I realize that sometimes
Go ahead.
you guys don't really know what's going on. and-
Not on the backside, no.
But I think that will help if we kind of bring back what the board ultimately approves and then kind of look at how that compares to the type of use that you have and whether or not, you want to make adjustments based on that.
Okay, and when was, I'm sorry, what was the time or time frame on this, I guess I should say?
So January 21st at the 10 o'clock hour will be the, consideration of the ordinance regarding the alcohol. The fee resolutions are also part of that agenda, currently under the consent agenda.
Okay,
So by then, whatever numbers come out of that, we'll be able to build something to bring back to your February meeting for you.
that is fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chairman, did you make that note as well?
What's that?
The January 21st date will be a pivotal date on us, on us moving forward with our rental fee rewrites.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Chairman.
Chair?
Chairman. The January 21st date, just as a reminder for everybody, that is an open public meeting for anybody who wanted to attend it. The meeting does start at 9 a.m. at the Board of County Commissioner Auditorium in the city of Ocala. However, it is also a televised meeting. You can watch it live from the internet. There is like a moment's delay, but you are welcome to do that as well for anybody who's got good internet reception.
Yeah, that's why I don't do it that way.
I watch all the meetings. No lights.
Besides, there's nothing like the smell of that room when you're sitting in there.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay. The boat dock, or the boat launch, that's at Tiger Lake?
Yes.
Not
Yes.
County Lake. What'd you say?
The boat launch that we're talking about the fees for,
Yes.
is that at Tiger Lake?
Yes.
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 Okay. Can the boats get from Tiger Lake to Bonneville Lake?
They can get from Tiger
Yes.
Lake to Bonneville Lake, but not Little Lake Bonneville.
Right, because that's not deep enough. Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Okay, thank you. All right, so,
Chairman, Chad, sorry. I just want to clarify, do you want us to bring back the facility rental fees and the boat ramp fees together?
yeah, that would be fine.
Yes.
Dan, to work on that with staff and bring that back together?
Did we just volunteer?
Well, it's part of these, I honestly assumed, well, he said yes. I honestly assumed that the boat ramp fees would be in with the facilities rental fees.
I'm sorry, Chad, as the appointed liaison, I'm like, yes.
Do you even sleep at night?
No.
I just want to make sure I had that clear. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chad. Okay, so we're gonna roll that down the road. Prior meeting updates. I have nothing. Anybody have anything? No?
I don't.
General public comment. So we're gonna open the floor now, and, we have Marcy McKay who wants to come up and speak with us. Hi, Marcy.
My name is Marcy McKay. I live at
at 3764 Southwest Bluegill Road. I am the coordinator for the Pins and Needles Stitchers Club here in Rainbow Lakes Estates. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to take and thank the board and thank the community for allowing us to take and have the Creative Arts Center to take and use to take and sew. In the last year, we have made dozens of beautiful quilts and pillows and all kinds of wonderful things. However, the load capacity in that building is 18 people. I have 10 members to my group. As it is right now, if I had someone else come on Monday and want to join the group, I have nowhere for them to sit. I don't have a table and I don't have chair space for them. The rooms are big enough that we can have more. I've already spoke with Pam about this and it's being addressed, but I just wanted to let you know that there are 2 or 3 more people that are interested in joining the club. But as of right now, I can't let them because I can't tell someone that's been coming all along that they don't have a place to sit. And also, as an aside, starting next week, my wonderful ladies, we are starting to take and do a charity thing for underprivileged children in hospice care, in relief centers, in disaster zones, and starting next week, I brought examples. We're going to start making teddy bears. And these teddy bears will be distributed all around the world. The group that we're joining with is called Dolls of Hope. And last year they delivered about 12,000 critters, dolls, bears, stuffies, for children. This whole thing started in 2016 as a young mother discovered that there was a refugee camp in Greece and these children were there with nothing. And so she herself started making these stuffed teddy bears. And since then it has grown a little bit. Last year, total since 2016, they've delivered about 107,000 bears. And I'm so proud of my ladies for stepping up and wanting to take and start doing this. So I will report back later as to how many we do, but I expect y'all to be impressed. Thank you.
Your question, they're kind of cool, by the way.
You want to start?
That's kind of neat. You're saying, just so I know, you don't have enough tables and chairs, is that?
That's correct. There are 7 tables in the building right now, okay? In the back room where the large window is that faces the lake, there are 8 tables, or 4 tables in there right now. 8 ladies can sew at those 4 tables. In the first room, there is 1 table, and I have 2 girls sitting out there sewing. In the center room, there are 2 tables in there that we put up on risers while we're there working, so that someone has a place to cut, pin, place stuff together. So those tables are always in use, but not available for anyone to sit at.
Chairman, if it's all right with you, I'll get with Kenny, our fire marshal, and find out why that occupancy load is so low.
Thank you, because I'm looking at that and it's like I've violated it myself with a couple of meetings I've held with residents, you know.
Yeah,
You're
that
telling me
building
that the
should be able to
maximum
hold
act
more than
is
18. So
18?
I'll find out.
You know, it's not just that building. Now, we have a youth center that says you can put 90 people in it? There's no way you're getting 90 people in that building. It went on what was in the building at the time, and the signature on those is, the name is John Lake Sr., who has not been a Marion County firefighter for 20 years. So
He was my
all
boss
these,
20 years ago.
What's that?
He was my boss 20 years ago.
Oh, Lord.
And he's been gone for about 20 years.
I'll get with Kenny, the new
So
fire
I
marshal.
think all these buildings probably need to be reevaluated.
Absolutely.
You know, but my question actually was to Pam. When are the new round tables expected to come in?
I believe it was the 23rd through the 26th.
Of this month?
Yes.
What?
Of this month?
January 23rd through January 26th is the window for delivery.
For the tables?
Yes,
That quick?
yes,
So after they come in, can we find some?
yes. That's what we talked about.
Problem
before the meeting.
solved.
Does that work for you, Marcy?
Solved. It would be wonderful. If we could have 4 tables in each room, that would be amazing. I mean, I'd be happy right now with 3 extra tables, but 4 in each room, and I'm sure that that would take and possibly help with using the Creative Arts Center possibly for some other venues. You know, if there was more seating and more places for people to go. So, thank you, guys.
Thank you. And Pam, thank you.
Thank you,
I'm
yes.
shocked that the tables are coming so quickly.
My pleasure.
Okay, anybody else? Public comment? Oh, Omar Rodriguez.
Mr. Chairman, Omar Rodriguez, 4535 Southwest Richmond Court. Could you please be so kind to share with our fellow residents what is the current procedure for identifying, qualifying, and appointing an advisory board member to Rainbow Lakes Estates? Thank you.
I'm sorry, you're asking me to do what?
I'm speaking loud enough. Could you please share with my fellow residents what is the current procedure for identifying, qualifying, and appointing advisory board members to Rainbow Lakes Estates Advisory Board?
They fill out an application at the county level. And county vets them and the county board of commissioners vote on them.
Correct, there isn't much more to that. You can go online and apply through, there is a link for advisory board members to fill out your application. It requires some basic personal information as well as, I believe, 3 references. And then after they open the application process up, they have a deadline, and then after that deadline, all of the candidates are then placed on an agenda for the board to consider, and the board votes, and that's who appoints the new board members. So for tonight, I have a note that typically we would require something in writing regarding a resignation. So we would need something in writing regarding any of the board members who have identified that they're going to resign, so that we can then provide that to the board of county commissioners, and they will do their assistants will advertise for the positions. But the applications are online at all times for anyone to fill out.
Are you sure you want to submit a resignation?
Yes, sir, 100%.
I'm sorry to hear that. Anyone else?
Hello, my name is Kent Wall. I'm the owner at 901 Feed at 4880 South US Highway 41. I just wanted to just come and introduce ourselves and some of what we do. We're a feed store, pet store, and so for the just letting everybody know that, you know, our services and that we're at the beginning of the Rainbow Lakes Estates, and if there's anything that we can do, if anybody has any questions or any problems or anything that needs to be addressed, please come to me at any time. I'm usually there, me and my wife, and we'll be happy. We're just happy to be at the, try to do a good community service for the lovely pets and our animals.
I already have a question.
All right.
Of course you
moved
do.
into one of the buildings, the
Yeah,
houses.
the county told us to buy that property about probably 4 or 5 years ago. They are commercial, it's commercial property. And, yeah, so there's been bookstores, there's been a hair salon. So, yes.
And the other 2, which were, I guess, formerly houses, is that what they were?
At the beginning of it was, I guess, a long time ago, whenever they built the community down here, they were supposed to be, they was the spec houses for our model homes. So,
Well, I know right behind you, on that street are the sample homes for the Pines of Rainbow Lakes Estates.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
So you're running your business out of one of the buildings, right?
Right.
And what are we doing with the other buildings?
The other
I have a
buildings-
point when I get to it. Go
The other
ahead.
buildings are, they're rentals. I mean, it's always been rentals for whoever's always owned that property.
And they're all commercial.
Yes, commercial buildings. Yeah.
The reason I bring that up is apparently there is a business in Denellen that their rent went from like $1,400 a month to $4,000 a month. It's the Denellen Discount Grocery Store. That would be a huge score to get them to move out here. So I don't recall the gentleman's name. Dwayne is the owner of that store.
The one across the street? Or-
The owner of the Denellen Discount Grocery Store.
Okay.
That would be amazing to get. And I don't know if you know where the Granada is in Denellen. It's not even on a main drag. You have to turn off by the
Railroad track.
Okay, yes, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's on a side street. It's a nothing plaza. You know, so you might want to consider trying to lure them out here for us.
Okay.
And it would be a benefit to you as well. Are you planning on putting up a building, like a pole barn eventually?
Well, the economy like it is, you know, in my eyes, when we bought that property, I had to build a building. And to build a building, there's no way. You know, there'll be $1 million to build, just a whole barn and we close it. So, you know, we're just trying to work with what we got and, you know, so, you know, times are hard for everybody right now. You know, hopefully now that the new administration comes in, it helps, you know, lower things and maybe, but right now, yeah, we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing, you know, compliant with all with the county, we've been in touch with them a lot. But yeah, we're just, they, you know, they do have the farm swaps on Saturdays out there, and I don't think nobody's complaining about it. I mean, people love it. It's a way to, you know, bring all the people together. You know, I'd like to have a lot more things, but I just need to know what we can and what we can't do. You know, I'd like to have, you know, maybe some food vendors that come out, parks, or, you know, or music, you know, sometimes, you know.
Well, you're aware your property falls in the Rainbow Lakes Estates, correct?
Yes.
Okay, because
Yeah.
most people don't realize it. The
Right.
doctor's office, your property, and the gas station are all, they
Right.
pay into the Rainbow Lakes,
Right.
you know? Okay.
Yeah, so, and that's one reason why I wanted to come to make sure, you know, we're in compliance with everything. If there's something I need to do, please let me know, you know, what we gotta do.
Well, I wish you luck at your new location. I have no complaints because you kept the old one pretty nice looking.
Yeah, and it looks like a bomb went off now, but it will be better. And we're gonna eventually still keep going, you know, making it a lot nicer.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? That it? All right. Closing the general public comment. Now we're gonna go on to announcements. Do any of the board members or guests have anything they would like to announce? You're all being quiet tonight. The Rainbow Lakes Estates Meet and Eat Dinner will be held right here in the Rainbow Lakes Community Center on Friday, January 24th, 2025, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is a resident-only event with no charge. Proof of residency is required. Come out and get to know your neighbors. The RLE Community Center yard sale is on Saturday, February 8th, if we get enough people to sign up, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Rainbow Lakes Estates Community Center complex. There is no fee for residents to reserve a table. Please reserve your space in advance by contacting the RLE district office. The RLE car show is being held at the Seacliff Community Park here in RLE on Saturday, April 5th, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you are a car enthusiast, collector, or vendor, please contact the RLE district office in advance to reserve your spot so that you can display your vehicle or for the sale of auto-related items and food. Okay, so I've been asked to bring something up as an announcement to the board and residents. As many board members may be aware, we have over the last few years had numerous issues with an animal sanctuary that has been operating for years illegally in RLE and in R1 zoning. I am referencing the Sanctuary to the Max, which is located on Seacliff Boulevard. Over the years, many residents have come before this board complaining about issues that have been created due to poor management of this rescue. Several of our board members and the residents in the past have been verbally attacked via social media by those that run this rescue. Some of you may not be aware, but they are currently attempting to move into what, to my understanding, is a horse preservation area in Morriston within Marion County boundaries. I've been contacted on several occasions by members of a group that is attempting to block the waiver that Sanctuary to the Max is requesting from the Marion County Board of County Commissioners to operate in Morriston. Mrs. Linda Lear, the organizer of this group attempting to block the approval, has asked for our board members' support to assist them in this endeavor. She has inquired as to whether our board members and residents would appear before the Marion County Board of County Commissioners on Tuesday, February 4th, 2025 in Ocala and voice the issues that have been created here in RLE by Sanctuary to the Max. It is my understanding this is a second reading of a new animal ordinance that the county may be implementing. This may be an opportunity for anyone who chooses to attend the commission meeting to support Mrs. Lear's group and formally request that the county shut down this nuisance that has been illegal operating here in RLE once and for all. I am passing along this information here today as a courtesy to Mrs. Lear's group, as this is not an RLE board issue, and as a board we are not taking an official position. It is solely up to any RLE board member and other resident if they choose to attend the Marion County Board of County Commissioner meeting. Okay, and our next advisory board meeting will be held on Thursday, February 20th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. here in the community center. Thank you all for coming, and we look forward to seeing you again next month. This meeting's adjourned.